The studio lights felt hotter than ever. Aaliyah Carter stood behind the microphone, palms sweaty, heart racing. The local Atlanta news station had opened auditions for a new junior reporter, and she'd spent weeks preparing. Her dream since childhood had been simple: to tell stories that changed lives. Now, it was her chance. Next, the coordinator barked. Aaliyah stepped forward, forcing a smile. Good morning, I'm Aaliyah Carter, and this is your community update. Her voice trembled at first, then steadied. She spoke about local housing reforms, fluently and passionately. When she finished, silence filled the room. The three judges scribbled notes. Then one of them, a stern woman with sharp glasses, looked up. You have potential, she said, but your voice lacks authority. You sound fragile. The word fragile hit harder than a slap. Afterward, Aaliyah walked out of the building, shoulders heavy. Her dream felt smaller now. She sat on the steps outside, staring at the city skyline. The same word replayed in her head like a curse. Fragile. Her phone buzzed, a message from her mom. Hope you didn't waste your time there. You know journalism won't pay rent. Tears burned her eyes. Two words, fragile and waste, collided in her chest. She whispered, maybe they're right. But deep down, a small voice whispered louder, prove them wrong. The next morning, Aaliyah dragged herself out of bed. The rejection email had already arrived, polite, formal, and cold. We regret to inform you. She stared at the screen until the words blurred. Downstairs, her mother was already up, frying bacon and humming an old gospel tune. You got that email yet? Maya asked without looking up. Aaliyah hesitated. Yeah, I didn't make it. Maya sighed and shook her head. See, I told you to apply at that insurance company. A steady job, good benefits. But no, you want to chase TV lights and dreams. Mom, it's not just about lights, Aaliyah muttered, trying to keep calm. It's about telling stories that matter. Her mother gave her a long look. Stories don't pay rent, baby girl. The world doesn't care about dreams, it respects survival. Those words cut deeper than she expected. Aaliyah pushed away her plate, appetite gone. Maybe one day I'll make you see, she whispered. Or maybe one day you'll thank me for being realistic, Maya replied, walking out of the kitchen. That afternoon, Aaliyah met up with Caleb Ross, her old college friend. They sat in a small coffee shop downtown. He was always her calm after every storm, steady, kind, always listening. You know what she said this time? Aaliyah asked bitterly. That I should give up. That dreams don't pay rent. Caleb leaned forward. Maybe she's scared. Parents want us safe, even if it means small. Aaliyah nodded, fighting tears. But I can't live small, Caleb. I just can't. He smiled gently. Then don't. Let that word, fragile, make you fierce. That night, Aaliyah opened her laptop, replayed her audition video, and whispered to herself, I'll try again. I don't care how many times I fail. The same word that broke her, fragile, had now lit a quiet fire in her heart. 2 months later, a single email changed everything. Subject, internship opportunity, WATL Channel 9 News. Aaliyah's hands trembled as she read it. She got in. It wasn't the anchor desk, but it was the door she'd prayed for, even if it was just a small crack. She screamed so loud that Maya rushed into the room. What happened? I got it, Mom. The internship. Maya blinked, unsure whether to smile. Unpaid, right? Aaliyah's joy dimmed slightly. Yeah, but it's experience. This is how people start. Her mother sighed. Fine. Just don't come crying to me when reality hits. But Aaliyah didn't care. She was already picturing newsroom lights, fast-talking reporters, and breaking stories. Her first day was everything she imagined, and more. The newsroom buzzed with tension and energy. Reporters shouted across desks, editors barked deadlines, phones rang endlessly. Her supervisor, Mr. Henderson, an old-school producer with a raspy voice, gave her a clipboard. "You'll run scripts, fetch footage, and keep quiet. Learn before you speak." "Yes, sir," she said quickly. By the third week, she'd already made mistakes, printing the wrong segment notes, spilling coffee near a camera stand, tripping on cables. Each error earned her a sharp glare from Trina, a senior assistant known for her flawless makeup and ruthless mouth. One afternoon, after Aaliyah accidentally dropped a flash drive, Trina smirked. "You really are fragile, huh?" The word stabbed her again, the same one from her audition. The newsroom suddenly felt smaller, the air heavier. That night, Aaliyah sat on her bed, exhausted, fighting tears. Her laptop glowed softly beside her. Caleb's message popped up, "Rough day." She typed back, "Worse than rough." Then another message, "Don't quit. Every great story starts with struggle. This is just your first chapter." Aaliyah looked at her reflection in the dark laptop screen. Her eyes were red, but alive. She whispered, "Okay then. Chapter 1. And for the first time, she believed that failure could still be part of her victory. By the 6th week, the newsroom had become a battlefield, and Aaliyah was learning to survive. She arrived before sunrise, stayed after everyone left, and memorized every reporter's workflow. Yet no matter how hard she tried, Trina found a way to remind her she didn't belong. "Sweetheart," Trina said one morning as Aaliyah organized video clips, "maybe you're better off writing blog posts or doing podcasts. You know, something less demanding." Aaliyah froze. "I'm exactly where I need to be." Trina laughed, sipping her iced coffee. "Confidence is cute, but this world eats the fragile." There it was again, fragile. The word that wouldn't leave her alone. Later that day, Mr. Henderson stormed out of his office. "We need someone to cover the community protest downtown. Everyone's tied up. I need footage and an interview before 5. Trina looked up lazily. "I can't go, editing queue's full." Henderson's gaze landed on Aaliyah. "Carter, you're up. Don't mess this up." Her heart pounded. She'd never been sent out alone before. Caleb's voice echoed in her mind. Every great story starts with struggle. She grabbed a camera, a mic, and her press badge. The streets downtown were alive with shouting, banners, and emotion. She started recording, shaky at first, but soon steady. She interviewed protesters, city officials, even a tearful mother holding her child. When she returned, sweat-soaked and trembling, Henderson was waiting. She handed him the footage wordlessly. That night, the segment aired, and her clips were used. Her angles, her questions, her voice. As the screen lit up with her work, Aaliyah couldn't breathe. She whispered to herself, "That's me." When she got to work the next day, even Trina was silent. Mr. Henderson simply said, "Good instincts, Carter. Keep that fire." It wasn't praise she'd expected, but it was the first spark that told her she was meant for this. For a while, things went right. Too right. Aaliyah's clips kept airing. Mr. Henderson trusted her with field reports. Even other reporters began asking her for help with community features. It felt like she was finally being seen. But success has a price, and Trina was waiting to collect. One Monday morning, Aaliyah walked into the studio and noticed whispers, laughter, quick glances her way. She checked her email and froze. Someone had forwarded her an audio clip. Her voice, nervous, stumbling, from her first day's rehearsal. The subject line read, "Future News Queen?" Her heart sank. The whole newsroom had heard it. Every mispronounced word, every stutter. She turned slowly toward Trina, who smirked over her coffee cup. "Don't take it personal, sweetheart," she said softly. "This place tests everyone. Welcome to reality." Aaliyah blinked back tears and ran to the restroom. She locked the stall and pressed her hand to her mouth. The word fragile echoed again, louder this time, almost mocking. For 2 days, she considered quitting. Caleb noticed her silence over text. "You okay?" he asked. "No," she typed. "Maybe they're right. Maybe I'm not built for this." A moment later, his reply came, "You're built for everything they can't handle. That's why they're afraid." Something inside her stirred. That night, she stood before the mirror and repeated, "I'm not fragile. I'm fierce." Then she returned to the newsroom the next morning, chin high, ready to start over. She didn't know it yet, but that moment, that pain, would become the foundation of her rise. 2 weeks later, Mr. Henderson called Aaliyah into his office. He was watching the morning broadcast replay. Her heart pounded as she stepped in. "Carter," he said, eyes still on the screen. "You handled that community story well. The way you captured the mother's tears, that's human storytelling. That's journalism." "Thank you, sir," she managed. He slid an envelope toward her. "The station's partnering with CNN for a short mentorship program. I'm nominating one intern." "It's you." Her breath caught. "Me." He nodded. "You've got something they can't teach. Heart." That night, Aaliyah screamed so loud the neighbors probably heard. Caleb called immediately. "You did it," he shouted. "Not yet," she laughed through tears. "But I'm getting there." When she told her mom, Maya crossed her arms. "You're still not getting paid?" "Mom," Aaliyah said softly, "sometimes faith pays before money does." Maya looked away, quiet. 2 weeks later, Aaliyah was in New York City, walking through CNN headquarters with trembling hands. She met mentors, attended workshops, and watched anchors she'd admired since childhood. On the last day, one of the producers told her, "You've got something raw. Don't let anyone dim it." It was the first time anyone described her voice as powerful, not fragile. That night, she wrote in her journal, "One word tried to break me. But I'm building new ones now. Courage, grit, faith." When Aaliyah returned to Atlanta, she was different. Confident. Focused. But the station wasn't the same. Mr. Henderson had retired, and a new producer, Mr. Levin, took charge. He valued speed over empathy, and didn't care about community stories. "Soft news doesn't sell," he said bluntly. "We need hard angles, controversy, clicks." Aaliyah disagreed, and it showed. One afternoon, she pitched a story about a local library reopening in a poor neighborhood. Levin scoffed. "Boring. Do something about the mayor's affair rumor instead." "That's gossip, not news," she replied. "Then maybe you're in the wrong business." Those words shook her. She wanted to fight back, but fear held her tongue. Later that day, Trina approached her in the hallway. "Told you, honey. You're too soft for this world." Aaliyah went home that night angry. Not at them, at herself for letting them silence her again. She prayed, really prayed, for the first time in months. "God, if you gave me this dream, help me protect it." The next morning, a storm hit Atlanta, literally and figuratively. A flash flood tore through downtown, destroying small businesses. The station scrambled for coverage. Aaliyah didn't wait for instructions. She grabbed a camera and ran into the rain. She interviewed shop owners, helped rescue workers, and captured raw human stories, compassion, loss, and courage in chaos. That night, her footage aired nationally. Viewers flooded the channel's social media with praise. And Mr. Levin, for once, was speechless. A week after the flood coverage, Aaliyah walked into the newsroom to applause. Even Trina clapped slowly, forced but visible. Mr. Levin called her into his office. "You've done impressive work, Carter. The network wants to feature your segment in their national highlight reel." She smiled shyly. "Thank you, sir." He leaned back. "Your story had emotion, authenticity. Though at times, your delivery still feels a bit," he paused, searching for the word, "fragile." That word again. The same one from her first audition. But this time, it didn't sting. She smiled. "Maybe that's my strength, sir. The world doesn't need another perfect voice. It needs a human one." He blinked, then nodded slowly. "Maybe you're right." When she left the office, she texted Caleb. He said the word again. "Fragile." "Yep. And how do you feel?" "Powerful." That night, Aaliyah replayed her flood coverage. She saw not weakness, but empathy, not fear, but purpose. For the first time, she realized that the word that once broke her had become the reason people connected to her stories. Her fragility was not failure. It was truth. Months passed. Aaliyah's name was now whispered with respect. She was offered a chance to co-host the morning segment, her biggest dream yet. The night before her debut, she barely slept. She ironed her outfit twice, rehearsed her lines until dawn, and prayed, "Lord, stand beside me." When the red light blinked on, she smiled into the camera. "Good morning, Atlanta. I'm Aaliyah Carter, and this is your morning report." It was perfect, until the teleprompter glitched. For a terrifying second, the screen went blank. Silence. Everyone froze. Her mind raced. Then she remembered something Mr. Henderson once said, "When the script fails, speak from your soul." She took a deep breath. "You know," she said live, smiling softly, "sometimes life throws unexpected pauses at us. But that's when we tell the real stories, the ones from the heart." The control room panicked, but viewers loved it. The segment went viral for its authenticity. When she got home, her mother was waiting, tears in her eyes. "Baby, I watched you today. You were amazing." Aaliyah smiled, hugging her tightly. "You believe in my dream now?" Maya nodded. "I always did, Aaliyah. I was just scared to lose you to disappointment. But I see now, you were never fragile. You were just growing your wings." 2 years later, Aaliyah stood on the stage of the National Media Awards, the bright lights reflecting on her golden dress. Her name had just been announced as Journalist of the Year. The audience rose to their feet as she walked up to the podium. Caleb, now her fiancé, smiled proudly from the front row. Her mother sat beside him, tears streaming. She took the microphone and looked at the crowd, but her voice was steady, her heart calm. "When I started," she began, "someone told me I sounded fragile. That word broke me. But now I see, it also built me." The hall went silent. Because fragility isn't weakness. It's the reminder that we're human, that we feel, we cry, we fail, and still rise again. Every story I tell carries a piece of that word. It taught me to listen deeper, love harder, and fight longer. Applause erupted. Cameras flashed. Aaliyah smiled and looked up toward the lights, the same kind that once made her nervous. In her heart, she whispered, "I made it." The word that once hurt her most had become her crown.